Good afternoon and welcome to the final block of the first day of competition of the IBSA Judo Grand Prix of Tbilisi in 2024. In the final block we will start with the J1 under 60 kilogram category. The bronze medal matches are taking place at the same time on mat number 1 and 2. So if you want to watch one of the uncommentated mats, you can just click on that YouTube channel. And it's followed by the final on just the one mat. And the 60 kilogram J1, we will be following that up with the J1 under 48 kilogram category, and we'll move up from there. In between finals, there will be the medal ceremonies, and it's just a little bit after 4 p.m. here. We're going to start right away with the bronze medal matches for the J1 under 60 kilogram category for men. And the first bronze medal match is between Junaidi of Indonesia and Zhu Xuan of People's Republic of China. This is a category we could see some of the matches of today, and it was really a nice competition in this category. So there is a lot at stake this weekend. This was a really beautiful attempt coming from Junaidi. That I haven't seen him doing that so much before. So really well done by Junaidi. He's looking very strong today. And there's a lot of stake here during this weekend. It's the last competition in the qualification period, and there's also the last points given out before the final ranking is made up for the Paralympic Games. And it can mean like a win here or a loss here can really mean qualifying for the Paralympic Games or not. Not sure if that's the case here. I think these two athletes are already qualified, but still some good points for the world ranking and a better position maybe to get your draw in the Paralympic Games. So it's a Zhu who just beat his opponent here. So it's a 5th place for Junaidi, but really well-deserved bronze medal for Zhu of People's Republic of China.
Bronze medalist representing the Republic of China, Zhu Xuan.
So in the meantime, we can go to mat number 1 to see the rest of the contest between Abdelkader Bouamer of Algeria and Marcos Denis Blanco of Venezuela. And right away, I think you have a great example of two athletes where the stakes are really high. So Bouamer is just out of the qualification spots. And although I don't think he will make it with a bronze medal here in the direct qualification, it could be really important points because there are at least 15 or 20 extra spots to allocate to the athletes. So the higher you are on the world ranking, the more chances you will have. Ooh, and that's not looking good for Blanco here. He had such a strong tournament here today, beating good opponents and having a great semi-final, just losing out in the end. But it looks like he's gonna finish on a 5th place here. Bouamer is doing great, I think, great work for himself here, beating his opponents, and he will collect another 240 points to add. So it's really unfortunate that he wasn't around in the first year of qualification. The first time he was around is in the Grand Prix of Baku of last year. So he only has a few chances to get to good results, and he did. So he picked up a silver medal in Tokyo last year and a 5th place in Turkey. And now he adds a bronze medal here. And Blanco had good results in the past, but he was struggling a bit more here. He picks up some good points, but I'm doubting if it's enough really to qualify.
And now we are starting final contest for men's under 60 kilo children category. Referee from Japan, Mr. Hirano Hiroyagi. With some categories, final shoulders.
So I think this is the final we've all been waiting for and hoping to see between the number 1 and number 2 seed here. It's between Kapil Parmar of India in white judo-gi, the number 1 seed, and Elielton de Oliveira of Brazil in blue, the number 2 seed. So interestingly enough, they're also the number 1 and 2 seed of the world ranking. So really the top athletes are present here today. Ooh, nice piece of Ashiwaza coming from Parmar. So on the last Grand Prix in Turkey, it was Parmar that beat Oliveira there. So let's see if he does that again, or the Oliveira found a strategy. Oh, that was really well done. I'm kind of surprised to see such a big difference because Parmar was struggling a bit today, and he had such a rough opening contest against Buhamer, who just picked up a bronze medal. But really, really well done by Kapil Parmar. And I think he's just strengthening his number 1 spot for the world ranking.
Winner, gold medalist representing India, Kapil Parmar. Please grab his Kapil Parmar. Elielton de Oliveira from Brazil wins silver medal. Elielton de Oliveira,
So the next category is already lined up, the J1 under 48 kilogram category for women. And we're gonna start with the bronze medal matches. And I'm gonna watch, I think, a really interesting contest between these two athletes. It's Anna Tabea Müller of Germany and Hangai Shizuka of Japan. Müller is wearing the white judo-gi and Hangai the blue. And why it's so interesting, this one, is because they are the number 6 and 7 of the Paralympic ranking, and only 6 spots are secured. I think the problem for Müller is that Hangai is already in a 5th place minimum, so she will collect, I think, 120 points. So I don't think she can catch her with that, but Müller can secure her spot on the 7th place. And although that's not known yet, she has a good chance of qualifying. But that's just we have to really wait and see the definitive list. So, but this is a really good left-sided seonage from Hangai to start with. On the other mat, we have the number 2 and 3 seed of today. See who will pick up a bronze medal. It's Esam Tassin Kafdar of Turkey and Rocio Silvana Ledesmaduro of Argentina. So I'll try to keep you updated about that one. So some nice movement from Müller, but then followed up with a nice left-sided seonage from Hangai. So the referee is making sure they have their grip in the middle. And it could be that the supervisors before we're doing a little check. That's why it took a little bit of time. But now they started off again. Both trying to work on the feet. And I think if you look from the side, it's quite easy to underestimate the strength that is on there, because in VI Judo they always have the grips on.
Bronze medalist represent Turkey, Ecem Asin Çapay. Rio Sözleşmeler Ecem Asin Çapay, Turkey. Bronze medalist.
And I almost missed out on that ippon there from Hangai. Really quick work again in this contest. There's a lot of ippons going on. And on the other mat, it's Tassin Kafdar who just beat her opponent as well. So we're going to switch mats to go to the final match already. So I think Tassin Kafdar had a slip today against Hangai. Well, slip, she's quite the strong athlete. But I don't think she was expecting as a number 2 seed to end up in a rapid charge. But she made up for it and picks up a bronze medal here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting final contest for women under 48 kg. The rozpoczętego koncert world ceremony organized categories final world champions. Referee from the United States of America, Mr. Brian Todd. And now please welcome to the athletes. World Rugby 2022 World Championships bronze medalist representing Brazil, Rosimeire de Andrade. In blue judoka.
So for this final contest of the under 48 kg for women J1 category, in white judoki it's Rosicleide de Andrade of Brazil, and in blue judoki it's Natalia Nikolajczyk of Ukraine. And it's funnily enough, Nikolajczyk is higher in the ranking for the Paralympic Games, but de Andrade is higher in the ranking of the world ranking. That's why she is seated as the number 1, and Nikolajczyk just as the number 4. But I don't think she can be underestimated as the world champion. So De Andrade has been around now for a few years, but she entered the scene very well with picking up some, I think some gold medals, or at least some medals in the past. But she has really rough competition from, amongst others, Nikolajczyk, but also Tassin Kavdar and Ledus Madure are really strong opponents. So Nikolajczyk, I'm used to that from her, that she's moving around quite a lot, but she's taking some more time sometimes to come up with the technique. And a first penalty now on the board for De Andrade. Just being a little bit passive here, so the first warning comes from the referee. Oh, and that's dangerous when Andrade can come on around and put her hand on the back of Nikolajczyk. She is quite threatening there. And let's see if Nikolajczyk now is trying to go for a Sankaku, and if she's taking a little bit more time to control De Andrade and control the arm. But that's actually not happening, and she's almost in trouble herself. So interesting contest between these two, because I think Nikolajczyk is looking a little bit more physically strong and a little bit like she has the upper hand, but I think De Andrade can throw really explosively, and she has a great response always. First left-sided Seoinage coming from Nikolajczyk. And again trying to work on Newaza. But good defense of De Andrade. So the Ukrainian women team is really one of the strongest teams worldwide. They have such good athletes in almost every weight category, especially the lightweights. And I think maybe in this category it's not as dominant as in some other categories, but she's always there and about. Now a Makikomi attempt. I think Nikolajczyk can feel that the response of De Andrade. Andrade looks like she's waiting a little bit on the movements of her opponent. So you can see that Nikolajczyk is very careful with her moves and just doesn't want to take too big of a risk. But she does attack, and De Andrade just picks up a second penalty for that. Now right-sided Uchimata. Just not enough to throw her completely on the back, but beautiful Uchimata coming from Nikolajczyk. And now she's holding her down, and I don't see De Andrade really coming out of that. So it's gonna be a gold medal for Nikolajczyk here. So a strong performance by Nikolajczyk, and the interesting part is that in this category it could still change the position of these top athletes in the seeding. So with these points, it could be that Nikolajczyk is the #1 seed in the Paralympic Games, and she might avoid, for example, Tassin Kavdar, Kuzankisi. So she really might avoid some really strong opponents in her half of the contest sheet. So that's why it's not only points to qualify, it's also if you're already qualified, the top 4 seeds in the Paralympic Games will be separated with numbers 1 and 4 on the top half of the contest sheet and the number 2 and 3 on the bottom half. And it could be a world of a difference for these athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we start aerobic ceremony for J1 mixed under 60 kilo.
So we're gonna go to the medal ceremony. And the first one is the men under 60 kilogram J1 category.
The medals will be presented by the President of the International Land Sports Federation, Mr. Ilgar Rahimov. Medal categories uznawał z Polskiej Federacji Federacyjnej Ilgar Rahimowi. Bronze medal star representing People's Republic of China, Zhu Xiwen.
So the bronze medals are for Zhu Xiwen of People's Republic of China and Abdelkader Bouamer of Algeria. Silver medal you just saw handed out to Elielton de Oliveira of Brazil, and gold medal here is for Kapil Parmar of India.
Flowers are presented by the International Blind Sports Federation Executive Director, Mr. Rufat Achili, following the blocks, IBSA's atmospheric Rufat Achili. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of India.
So now the national anthem of India.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we are starting bronze medal contest for men's under 73 kilo.
So we're getting ready for the under 70 kilogram category J1 athletes, which was the biggest category today with 20 athletes in there. And also the top 4 of the world ranking was competing here today, and I think there were some surprises on the way. And with for sure the biggest surprise here, Yergli Chamé losing out in the rapid charge contest. And the one he lost out to is here in the white judogi, Eduardo Gauto. And he will be facing number 4 seed Dongdong Kamani of Italy in blue. And actually these athletes are already qualified for the Paralympic Games, so no stress for them there. But Kamani is in the 4th place, and I think he wants to keep that position to get a good seeding position there. So with him being seated at the Paralympic Games, he, for example, won't face Bologa, Chamé or Sas in the first few rounds. So Gauto obviously has a good day here today, beating Yergli Chamé, former world champion. But in this case, he has an unfortunate ending of his day. Great technique, great seonage coming from Kamani, showing why he's one of the top seeds. And he picks up another bronze medal in the Grand Prix this year. That was incredibly fast. Only 10 seconds needed for Kamani to win his contest. And we're gonna take a look at mat number 1. And we have a contest here between Shokro Mamedov of Uzbekistan in white judogi and Harley Damiano Pereira Ruda in blue judogi. And Pereira just coming up with a good makikomi attempt. So although Chamé is out, we're not going to see a surprising final, because we saw that final that's coming up already for a few times. And let's see who is going to take a win this time. But first, let's see who is going to take a win in this bronze medal contest. So Pereira working on the arm of Mamedov and Newaza. Not succeeding, but showing his Newaza skills. Ooh, that was interesting. So Pereira came in with a good attack, but completely missing out on a kumikata, and Mamedov almost picking up Pereira there for a huge takeover. So both are explosive athletes. So they are taking some time to tidy up their gi, but now they're ready for the next action. Referee is making sure that they have a right kumikata. Really nice right-sided tseunage from Pereira, scoring a first Wazari here on the board. Just has the edge over his opponent, but I think it still is quite an interesting battle. So they're gonna do a check by the supervisors to see if it was a real Wazari, but that was a really quick check, so probably it was pretty obvious that he landed on his side. So because this weight category, there's been like 4 athletes, maybe 5 or 6 that are really dividing the medals here. You can also see quite a big gap in points between those athletes. So you have Beloga, Chame, Sas and Kamani. And also actually Jaffa of Portugal, who's not present here. They have a lot of points. And then after that there's a small gap, and especially after the top 8 or 10. So it's still the Wazari lead on the board for Pereira. And Mammadov is trying to get that on his side of the board as well. Trying to make some good attacks, but it's not gonna be easy for the last minute and 22 seconds here. So you see the gripping of Pereira on the left side is really strong, so he's controlling his opponent with that. But Mammadov is also putting some pressure on Pereira. He's just quite static, so if he would move around a lot more, it would be, I think, disturbing Pereira a little bit more also. Ooh, and that was an attack coming from Pereira, like a twisted seonage, let's say, but he did that completely from a static position as well. So not moving Mammadov, and actually that's a risk if you do that, because you're more likely to be taken over. So there is gonna be a Shido on the board now for Mammadov, and just doesn't really seem to get any space for a good attack, and I think that has a lot to do with the kumikata, with the gripping of Pereira. You see here, Mammadov is really trying to get rid of that grip, but Pereira is controlling the left hand of Mammadov really well. And I think as long as he holds on to that sleeve on that left side of Mammadov, Mammadov doesn't have really much to say in this contest. So he does try to do some other things here, Mammadov, but doesn't really get close to a score. So Mammadov is a great athlete, and we've seen him throwing really nicely in other contests, in other competitions. But against Pereira, he's really struggling with this kumikata. And that left hand, he cannot get that left hand somewhere else, and he really needs to do that for a good makikomi, for example. But great work from Pereira. And I really think it's a well-deserved bronze medal for him. So nicely done. And it's a bronze medal to add for to the Brazilian team. And it's in the name of Harley Damião Pereira Arruda. So we have a final to bring to you on mat number 2. And here we have the mat. And these two athletes know each other so well. They fought each other many times. And it's the athletes in the white who has the benefit of winning most of the occasions. In white judoka here flown in Alexandru Bologa, the current world champion from Romania, and he is facing Leonard Sass of Germany. And Sass being the bronze medalist of the last world championships, but he beat Bologa in Heidelberg. So when he was at home, he beat one of the toughest opponents in the category. So of course, let's see if he can do that again. It's always a very tough battle between these two athletes. And although Bologa won most of the occasions, Sass is, I think, quite new. He's been around for the last Paralympic period, but Bologa has been around for a lot longer, so he's the more experienced one. But Sass is doing really well in the circuit and super constant, winning almost, I think, at every occasion he's winning a medal. And the same can be said for Bologa. Really two of the top athletes. So Sass trying to strangle Bologa, but I think the lapel was on the chin there. So as soon as the referee noticed, he had to call a mate. But I think first warning for Bologa. Good Newaza work from Sass. This time not the best drop technique from Sass. So that strong right-handed grip of Sass is bringing some trouble to Bologa. And he also has a really strong right-sided stance. But Bologa has those low techniques, and I think one of his biggest strengths is that he just keeps going for a minute after a minute, and he piling up the attacks. But you don't see him doing that here today, and I think for him that's worrying because he needs to keep piling on the attacks, and he normally doesn't really give his opponents any chance of attacking. So both athletes are moving around, but I'm waiting for a really big attack. Just saw a nice seonage coming from Bologa, but not being able to score. And now still 2 minutes are left in the contest. And here a nice left-sided seonage from Bologa. Oh, interesting. Like, I think we had the wrong angle there, but it was a really great left-sided technique coming from Bologa. And apparently enough for a score. It's good that the supervisors can always have a second look, can have a replay, and it can be in slow motion. So they really have the time to decide what is the best decision for the referees. And that's really gonna make it a lot harder for Sas to come back from that. And now Bologa trying to escape the Newaza work from Bologa. So Sas was in his position before, being behind with Bologa and also losing out to Bologa. But it is an important day here today because you want to win the qualification points. But I think they both are really focused to get the gold in a few months' time. And that will be much better than all of the other encounters they had. So the only really interesting thing here, I think, is that Sas can move up a spot, but it won't be a big difference in his weight category. So they will be in the top and bottom half of the contest sheet anyway. Ooh, that was a nice piece of action. It's just that Bologa was already on the ground, I think. So they are going to take another look at that as well. But no scores given out. It was a really nice movement from Sas, but it was already Newaza. So he just cannot score from a Newaza position. But this time another good attack coming from him. So this contest really is not over yet. Still 1 minute on the clock. And another attempt coming from Sas. I'm not surprised to see a penalty on the board for Beloga quite quickly. So it's another drop technique from Beloga, and Sas really smells it that he can have a shot here, because he can. I'm 100% sure he can sense that Beloga is running out of fuel here, and Sas still has energy left. He looks quite fresh and ready to go, but he is still a Wazari behind. Again, putting up under so much pressure. Well, it will be interesting to see what happens the next 43 seconds, because the balance has really shifted. And it's another penalty for Beloga. I'm really interested to see if he can hold on to these 2 penalties. Just one more penalty and he will be out of the contest. Oof, almost left-sided Seonage from Beloga. But you can see he's just really out of fuel. And he doesn't have any strength left, because also that left Seonage, it was a good attempt, good timing, but he really couldn't follow it up with his arms anymore. And I'm actually not sure if it's a bad thing if Beloga will lose out here. It will be, let's say, a good warning for him to put in some really good training and be as fit as possible at the start of the Paralympic Games later this year. So losing out here also for Sas is not the end of the world. It's really the most important. Ooh, that was so close again by Sas. He's really trying everything. Just made the one small mistake. And another drop Seonage on the left, but it's just not a strong attempt. It's not. I don't think it's enough to really give that 3rd penalty, but they could give it, because it was really a drop technique without really breaking the balance of your opponent. That was a slightly better attempt. And trying to work his way on the ground. So I'm not sure what the referee is telling Sas, but I think he's telling him to keep control. And it's only 12 seconds left. that was not a good attempt coming from Bologa. I really think he's on the edge of picking up a third Shido here. So it's so rough for these opponents. Sas knows exactly what Bologa is doing and the other way around. So they're apparently not gonna give this third Shido, but yeah, it's. I think Bologa had a good contest because he scored the Wasari, but he's really not there yet, and it's not a given fact that he would win the next encounter. So it's well defended by Bologa, but he does have some more work to do, and the same can be said for Sas. Just made one mistake, but he looked really strong here today with a silver medal in the end. So for sure, this is one of the weight categories that I will be on the edge of my seat in the Paralympic Games in September. So we're gonna go to the medal ceremony for women under 48 kilo J1 category.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we are starting awarding ceremony for J1 Women's Under 48 category. Kawałek dodanego wiecach na judowych ceremoniach dzień wielki walczyłeś orąstarła kilogramami trudnych kategoria. The medals will be awarded by the head of Municipal Department of Culture, Education, Sport and Youth Affairs of Tbilisi City Hall, Mr. Medal categories Tbilisi Memories, Kultury, Strany, Sport, Sada, Atlas, Sakmeta, Sakalosa, Zaborsko, Skaloni, Irak and Krylova. Bronze medalist representing Turkey.
So bronze medal here today is for Esem Tassin Kavdar of Turkey. And for Hangai Shizuka of Japan. Silver medalist Rosicleide de Andrade of Brazil. Gold medalist today, Natalia Nikolajczyk of Ukraine. And now the national anthem of Ukraine.
By the head of Health Policy Department of Ministry of Health, Ms. Irina Chalafadze.
And before that, of course, the flowers will be presented to the athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able for the national anthem of Congratulations, medalist. Gold medalist in this category representing Ukraine, Natalia Nikolaichuk. И давайте поздравим наших призеров. Окружной славы Тбилиси Grand Prix Симаджоруи. Natalia Nikolaichuk, Украина.
So after this family picture, we're gonna go to map number 2, where we're gonna have the bronze medal match of the under 48 kilogram for women J2 category. And I think this might be the most interesting contest between these athletes of the whole day up so far. Because well, actually the athletes that wins this contest will have a direct qualification spot for the Paralympic Games of Paris. So there's really a lot at stake here. These athletes are not they're like 108 points apart, and the difference between a third and a fifth place are 120 points. So they're currently the numbers 7 and 8. Kokila is higher ranked, but there's just a small difference. And interestingly enough, Kahit Eke beat Kokila in the last occasion in Turkey. So it's Kokila in white judoki of India, and in blue it's Kahit Eke of Turkey. So Eke is quite an experienced athlete. She's been around for a while, but I think she had a rough period or she was out. She didn't participate for quite some competitions. And now working on the arm of Kokila. Let's see if she can get that. Ooh, that looks dangerous for Kokila. And Kokila barely holding on there. And as soon as she taps out, the contest will be all over. And it's Eke who just beat Kokila here. And that means that Kokila will be out of direct qualification after this tournament. So that's very interesting. So Eke just secured her spot, and Kokila, we're not sure if we're gonna see her later this year. Could still be qualified, but she's now dependent of some extra allocation of the spots. So with that, we're gonna see the rest of the contest between Carmen Brusik of Swiss and Julia Ivanitska of Ukraine. It's Carmen Brusik in white judogi and Julia Ivanitska in blue. So Ivanitska is really one of the top contenders in this weight category, picking up a silver medal at the World Championships and a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games. And I think the biggest favorite is missing out here, Nawatbek of Kazakhstan. She's the number 1 of the world ranking and the current world champion. She decided not to take on this tournament. So first penalty on the board for Brusik. And Brusik is already around for a very long time. She has tons of experience in. But I think at some moments age is starting to count a little bit. But then you see something like this, really nicely done. Nice left-sided technique coming from Brusik. So Brusik is always really a difficult opponent. But this time I think Ivanitska is doing really well in Newaza. I think she had the stronger one actually as well. So it was a Shimewaza. And Brusik has to settle for a 5th place here. And I don't think that she will qualify this time for the Paralympic Games. She's been at many occasions, but this time it's not going to be enough, probably. Not sure about that yet as well. She does pick up some good points here and might move up just a spot on the Paralympic ranking.
Now we're starting final contest for women under 48 kg judo category. Rozpoczynamy koncert finału teraz. Dziękuję Panu sport.
So another one of the most experienced athletes coming on to the mat now in white judogi, Sandrine Aurieres Martinet. Multi-medal winner of the Paralympic Games and World Championships. And then we have Li Lijing, who is another really top athlete, also former Paralympic champion. So really both know how it is to win big medals. And now facing each other in this final. I think Aurieres, she was coming down from the 52 kilogram category to this category now. And Li Lijing is looking particularly strong today, beating Ivanitska in the semi-finals. So both trying to work in Newaza here. Ooh, that was a mistake by Aurieres. That's incredible. You don't see that happen very often. She's so experienced and she's trying to really get by and past the legs of Li, but Li very strong with that Juji Gatame. But and I think she knows she made a mistake, and also the danger is that because it's so tight and so quick from Li, you have the risk of being injured in your elbow, and you really don't want that a few months before the games. So she is very frustrated, but Li Lijing, I'm impressed with her today. She's picking up a gold medal here. So 4 nations winning gold medals here. It's the People's Republic of China just picking up their first gold next to Romania, India and Ukraine. And there are more chances more chances. For sure it's going to be a gold medal for Uzbekistan. And Kazakhstan and Japan also still have a shot at the gold here today.
Men's under 73 kilo. Kategoria represent the judo ceremonies. Jury defeated Bangladesh choice 78 kilograms of category. The medals will be presented by the member of Parliament of Georgia, Olympic champion, Mr. Shota. So, medals will be presented by the member of the Parliament of Georgia, Olympic champion, Mr. Shota. Medal judoks Sakatonis Paralympics Olympic champion Shota.
So now we have the medal ceremony for men under 73 J1 category.
Bronze medalist representing Italy, Kamani.
Bronze medals go to Dung Kamani of Italy.
And representing Brazil,
And Harley Damião Pereira Arruda of Brazil. And he's obviously very happy with his result. Silver medal goes to Lennart Sass of Germany.
Gold medalist in Tbilisi Grand Prix representing Romania,
Gold medalist here today, Florin Alexandru Bologa of Romania.
The flowers are presented by the head of Municipal Department of Culture, Education, Sport and Youth Affairs, Mr. Irani Vilala. Paralympic Games, Tbilisi medalist, kulturis, karakteris, sportisodat, Ahal Zuzak Medalasta, Irani Vilala. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able for the national.
So now the national anthem for Romania. So this family's picture is taken now, and we're gonna focus on mat number 1 at this point, where we're gonna see a really interesting battle between two top athletes, one of them being a current Paralympic champion and the other one being a former world champion. And one of them actually is already qualified for sure. He's in the number 3 of the qualification list. Don't think really that's gonna change after this competition. But the other one is really out of the qualification at this point. And there is a chance that he can get in, but not today. He's just gonna get really important points and be the runner-up for a qualification spot. So it's absolutely essential that the last one that I mentioned will win this contest, but that's easier said than done. So here, white judogi, Paralympic champion Fugar Shirinli of Azerbaijan, and in blue judogi, David Korava of Ukraine. So Shirinli, he just came back to the circuit in Tokyo in 2023, and as long as he would have won all his contests almost, he would have been in of qualification, but that's really not the case here. He has some tough opponents in his category. So he's still out of qualification, and he doesn't have a chance anymore for a direct qualification. He was supposed to win then the competition, but he still really needs his points here. I think the problem for Shirini is that he has really strong judo, low Yoko Toshis, let's say, or adjusted katakurumas, but almost all of his opponents he's met before, and they really know his style, and they are well prepared. So he's struggling at the moment with almost all of his opponents. So both really moving around, but not getting to a good attack. And Shirini really tried his best, but a great response from Korava taking over that technique. So it's Vazari on the board on the side of the Ukrainian, and Shirini really is in trouble now. And this shows also that the level is so much higher than before. You could see in the past that some of the athletes came back just a year before the Paralympic Games, did a couple of tournaments, qualified, and then they really trained well for the Paralympic Games itself, obviously. But you can see here that the level is much higher. It's not possible anymore. You really need to be focused and be around for the whole qualification period. That was a good attempt coming from Shirinli. Not enough for a score, but really not over yet. 1 minute 17 seconds left on the clock. It's been a fun contest to watch so far. So that's the risk of being behind against Korova. Korova is good with those sutemis and just disturbing the judo of his opponent. Oh, nice. Ooh, that's not good. So it was a left-sided Uchimata coming from Shirinli, but yeah, you saw his head going down there, and I think, well, he's in a big risk here. So let's see what the referee supervisors will check. They have to check if it was really a head dive or that it was done by the opponent, for example. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it was, in this case, it was so clear that his head went down first to the mat. So it's not gonna be a bronze medal for Shirinli, so important point. So he's gonna be just one spot out. So the top 7 will be directly qualified, and he will take place number 8. So that must be very frustrating for him. And I'm not sure why he was out for so long, but he might regret that now. So on the other mat, we still have the bronze contest between Zurabiani of Georgia in white judogi and Diego da Silva of Brazil in blue. And Zurabiani is doing a great job because he's leading with a Wazawi score. And da Silva has a penalty on the board. So with 1 minute left on the clock, things are looking good for Zurabiani, but obviously it's not over yet. So funnily enough, Zurabiani is not the one that you notice always, but he's always there and about, and it's because Namazov, Nurilayev, Korova, they are athletes that always do so well and are the top favorites for a gold medal. But in the meantime, Zurabiani is picking up some bronze medals, and he's in a really good position. And he's qualified for the Paralympic Games as well, so he might do something crazy over there, maybe. And in the meantime, he's doing it very smart. So good tactical finish for this contest. And well-deserved medal for Georgia here. So first medal for Georgia during the competition. So a really interesting final coming up between really the two top athletes. So they're the number 1 and 2 from both the world and the Paralympic ranking. And I'm dying to try to find out what will be the decision for these athletes, if this might be the contest to decide who will be qualifying for the Paralympic Games. I have no idea at this point. But the fact is that they are both qualified, they're both the top seed. So one of them will be the number 1 seed in the next Paralympic Games. So that's gonna be so interesting to see who turns out on top. And it's always rough to see if there's two athletes that are so good. You see that inside the judo as well. But obviously in VI judo you have the same luxury problems at some points. So Uzbekistan is one of the strongest judo nations, and they're showing that in this category with the number 1 and 2 seeds. So in white, judoka here, Sherzod Namazov of Uzbekistan. In blue, current world champion Cameron Nurilayev. So a first attempt from Nurilayev. Nurilayev is also, he's obviously physically very strong and fit, but he is so diverse with his techniques. So you can see him coming from multiple angles, coming with different techniques. Here at the left side, drop Seonage, and then Yoko Tomonage, followed up by an arm lock. Not sure what was said there, but it can also be some of the frustration of Namazov being the number 1 seed, the number 1 of the world ranking. But there's a good chance that we won't see him on the next Paralympic Games. So you can see, thankfully, after that, they are teammates, probably training with each other a lot. But some of the frustration came out. So it's going to be now the time for the medal ceremony for women under 48 kilo in the J2 category.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting awarding ceremony for J2 women's under 48 kilo. The medals will be presented by the President of the Georgian National Olympic Committee, Olympic champion Mr.
So bronze medals are for Kahit Eke of Turkey.
Bronze medal star representing Turkey, Chati Ege.
And also for Yulia Ivanitska of Ukraine.
Silver medalist representing France.
Silver medal for Sandrine Ollieres-Martinet of France.
Gold medalist in Tbilisi Grand Prix representing People's Republic of China.
Gold medalist today is Li Lujing of People's Republic of China.
The flowers are presented by the Vice President of the Georgian Paralympic Committee, Mr. Shava Maiswaze. Pamięta Judo z Armii Narodowej Vice-Prezydentem Government Shava Maiswaze.
So now the national anthem of People's Republic of China. So on the mat now we're watching Wang Jinan of People's Republic of China and Ramona Brusik of Germany. Sister of the other Brusik who we just saw another bronze medal contest in the 48 kilogram category. So Wang just picked up her first penalty here. So Wang is quite new in the circuit. He just started at the, or first time I saw her, and obviously many of the Chinese after at the World Championships in Birmingham. And she picked up some good medals in the last competition. So she won the Grand Prix of Heidelberg and got a silver medal at the Grand Prix of Antalya. And now trying to work in Newaza against Brusik. Brusik got so many medals in the past, and she is missing out on a lot of medals. So she's picking up 5th places most of the times. Probably quite frustrating, and she will have to settle for another 5th place in this competition. So it's Wang that's gonna pick up a bronze medal together with Marta Arcepaño, if I'm correct.
So, bronze medalist representing Spain, Marta.
So Wang secures her spot and picks up a bronze medal here. And the final is gonna be quite boring, I'm sorry, because unfortunately one of the athletes is not competing in this final.
Final contest, Jimmy Tour, women's under 57 kilo category.
So both of the athletes here in this final, they're the number 1 and number 2 seed. They're already qualified for the Paralympic Games. And very unfortunate, but Khumushkun Khodiaeva of Uzbekistan won't be able to compete here. Not sure why. She might be injured and not fit and healthy to compete here in the final. Always very unfortunate to see. But in this case, Diana Fedosova of Kazakhstan just has to take a bow to take the win in this contest.
So gold medalist in this category is representing Kazakhstan, Diana Fedosova.
So it's also an easy job for a referee in the middle, John Ruimakers from the Netherlands. Just needs to turn up and his job is done already.
So gold medal goes to Kazakhstan.
And we're gonna get ready for another medal ceremony here.
Silver medal from Uzbekistan.
So we're gonna watch the medal ceremony for men under 60 kilo J2 category, which was a really interesting category today, and especially interesting for the top two athletes from Uzbekistan. And you can tell that one of them is really the best athlete. He's been unbeatable in this IBSA circuit.
The medals were presented by the Deputy Head of Sports Department of the Ministry of Culture and Sport of Georgia, Mr. Georgi Aragoyan. Медалите Жидовс, Сакатос, полководство спортиста министров спортиста Паралимпикс с спортными медалями Georgi Aragoyan.
So bronze medalist today, Zurab Zurabiani of Georgia, and David Korova of Ukraine. Silver medal goes to Shehzod Namazov of Uzbekistan, and the gold is also for Uzbekistan for Kemran Nurilayev.
The flowers are presented by the Vice President of Georgian Paralympic Committee, Mr. Georgi Okrelashvili. Flowering Najatovs, Sakatovs, Athlete European Assistant President Georgi Okrelashvili.
So now the national anthem of Uzbekistan. So we just have the one category left, but again this is a really interesting category with again a Uzbek match. Not between them, but they're both fighting for a bronze medal, and they might be fighting for their Paralympic spot here. So we're gonna watch mat number 1, at least in the beginning, because we have one of the home favorites as well there, and the Paralympic champion.
Tatami 1, referee from Hungary, Miss Friedrich Kadami. Tatami 2, referee
And
from
this category, the
Mongolia,
under 73 kilogram
Miss
category for J2 men
SSA.
athletes, it is one that is closer together. So you have some
Among
top
yourself in
athletes like
progress.
Ora Zalyuli,
Tatami
Seto,
11,
Saidov,
Belarus,
that have quite a lot of
qualification.
points.
Georgi Adam
But behind
Stavro.
that, there is a lot of athletes that are really close together.
In blue judoka, 2020 Tokyo
So
Paralympic
I'm really
Games
not sure what they're gonna do between
Uzbekistan, Ferit
Saidov and
Saidov.
Kurambayev.
Tatami 2, in white judoka, Tokyo Paralympic Games bronze medalist, representing Lithuania, Osvaldas
So in the world
Baraikis.
ranking or in the Paralympic ranking, let's
Blue
say
judoka,
Saidov is
Tokyo
way ahead
Paralympics
of
champion,
Kurambayev. But
Uzbekistan,
Kurambayev is doing quite well in the last few competitions. He won the Grand Prix of Antalya, got a bronze medal at Heidelberg, while Saidov got the silver medal at Heidelberg, but didn't really achieve anything in Antalya. But let's focus first on this bronze medal contest between Georgi Kaldani of Georgia in white judogi and Paralympic champion Ferouz Saidov of Uzbekistan in blue. So a first attempt from Saidov. You can see here how strong Kaldani is. Ooh, that was so nice. Beautiful ippon from Kaldani. That is really well done. And he picks up important points here. I don't think he will be the top 4 seeds, but he's getting quite close there. And obviously that you want to be in the top 4. So that is not really good for Saidov here. 5th place finish. And we're gonna take a quick look on mat number 2 while his teammate Kurambayev is on the mat for a bronze medal as well. So in white judoki here it's Osvaldas Baraikis of Lithuania, and in blue it's Uchkun Kurambayev of Uzbekistan, who also is a Paralympic champion, but he came from the 66 kilogram category. So I'm really curious what they're gonna do if Kurambayev picks up a bronze medal here. And to make it worse for Saidov, he lost out to Kaldani, and Kurambayev beat Kaldani in the quarterfinal. In the end, of course, it's the most important to win a medal or not. Nice footwork from Kurambayev. He's looking very strong. I'm just curious. Ooh, that was a really nice move from Baraikis, and I'm curious to see what happens as the contest continues and who can stay the strongest. Nice right side at Seonage, just not in the right position, but good attempt coming from Kurambayev. Nice. Well, Yoko Tomonage attempt. But I think also Baraikis, he's a real 73 kilogram athlete. Kurambayev moved up from the 66. And you can see that Baraikis is a little bit more, let's say, more heavy. Maybe not in weight, but he looks like the physical stronger one. And that could really make the difference as the contest progresses. Nice left side at Seonage. Ooh, and actually Kurambayev completely going over, grabbing his shoulder now. And I'm really hoping that won't be a problem for him. But I'm not even sure if they would recheck that by the supervisors. So a good Vasari lead now for Baraikis. Again, left-sided technique coming from Baraikis. And he's looking very strong now. Just his danger, I think, is that he's a little bit too eager. He can feel he can take this one. But you cannot underestimate also the taking over techniques of Kurambayev. So he's a really technical, great athlete. Oof, again. So it's really not over yet. Still 2 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock. That's a long time, a long way to go. Another left-sided Soneke. He just was missing out on the grip there, you can tell. But it was a nice movement from Baraikis again. But if they keep up this pace, they're gonna have a really hard time in the next 2 minutes. So strong right-sided grip from Kurambayev. You can see he's in trouble. So he's bringing some trouble to Baraikis, I must say, with that grip. And it's also such a mental game, because in this case Baraikis has the lead and Kurambayev is chasing, and he likes that and he keeps going. While in one of his previous contests he looked like he was drained a little bit faster than he is now. Another left Sonage. And now right-sided Sonage, but he looks less strong now. So it's still 1 minute and 20 seconds, but he needs to come up with a really dangerous attack. So he's already on the 2 penalties. Nice right-sided movement from Kurambayev, just well blocked by and both have had rough contests. So it's been a long day, starting the competition at 10, and now it's already 6 o'clock. So you can see that these athletes had a long day, and trying to end it up, or end the day with the medal. Nice movement from Kurambayev. Such a great athlete. Oh, that's it. Really nice timing. Just making use of the forward movement of Kurambayev, and proving to be stronger. And he's always there, and he's so constant, Baraikis. And not, I don't think he ever won a competition, but he for sure is taking some medals.
Bronze medalists representing Lithuania, Osvaldas Bareikis. Wyposażony rekord, a obecnie kategorii powiedział specjalnie judoka
So we just have the final left of this category, and it's gonna be a really good one between the number 1 and the number 3 seed here today.
And now we're starting final contest for men's under 73 kilo.
So I've been impressed with the judo of Seito Jujiro of Japan, and he has a very good year now, winning a bronze medal in Antalya, a gold medal in Heidelberg, and also a gold medal in Japan. So just was beat in one contest, and now he finds himself in the final again. And he will be facing Nathan Petit of France, which didn't compete for a while. So I think this is his first competition of the year, and straight up into the final. Left-sided attempt coming from Petit. So it's a really interesting mix, because Nathan Petit moved up or moved down from the 81, while Seito had to move up from the 66. So they both found their way to a new weight category, and they settled down and have good results. But I'm wondering if maybe Nathan Petit could be physically a little bit stronger than Seito. Right-sided Seonage. I think here you can see Seito has such great judo, but he is struggling a little bit with the physical strength of Petit. So a first penalty on the board for Petit. Wow, that was amazing. He's so looking so strong. And I was not in Antalya, so I haven't seen his losing fight. But I would like to see that back, to see what happened over there, because he's looking so dominant in this weight category. And actually, it could be that by winning this competition, because Orozayuli of Kazakhstan has not been present in this competition, he might be the #1 seed of the Paralympic Games, which is always a very good position to be in. So what a way to finish off day #1. Not completely finished yet. We still have the awarding ceremony for the last two categories. The category we just saw and the under 57 J2 category for women.
Judoka for France, Nathan Petit with silver medal.
We've seen such a diverse competition today, and I think you show that you can see that by the numbers and the diversity of countries that won a gold medal here today. It's actually been 7 different countries that picked up gold medals. But before I tell you which countries won the gold medals, let's first focus on the under 57 kilogram category.
The medals will be presented by the deputy head of sports department of the Ministry of Culture and Sport of Georgia, Mr. Georgi Arabuli. Medals sacramentos culturas profissionais sportis departamentos professor Georgi Arabuli. Bronze medalist representing People's Republic of China, Man Jian.
So bronze medals today go to Wang Jianan of People's Republic of China and Marta Arcepaño of Spain. Silver medal goes to Kumushron Khojaeva of Uzbekistan. And gold medal today goes to Diana Fedosova of Kazakhstan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able for the national anthem of Kazakhstan.
So now the national anthem of Kazakhstan. So after this family picture, we just have the one category left, the under 73 kilogram category, who was won beautifully by Seto of Japan. And there were gold medals today for India, Romania, China, People's Republic of China, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, and Japan. So a really diverse pack of countries, and here it is, Fedosova, that came out on top today. So it was a really interesting day, and there are some changes were made in the last competition for Paralympic qualification. So some of the athletes today secured their spot. And I think Wang, for example, was one of them. And we're just waiting for the last ceremony to be ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we are starting last awarding ceremony. J2, men's under 73 kilo.
So now we have the last ceremony of today, the J2 under 73 kilogram for men.
The medals will be presented by the head of the executive committee of Georgia Judo Federation, Mr. Shohata Jovatse. Metrika judokas sagatavos cīņas federācijas atmosfēru rekordori Shohata Jovatse.
Bronze medalists today are for Osvaldas Bareikis of Lithuania and Georgi Kaldani of Georgia. Silver medal goes to Nathan Petit of France. And gold medalist here today is Seto Jujiro of Japan.
The flowers are presented by the deputy head of sports department of the Ministry of Culture and Sport of Georgia, Mr. Georgi Araburi. Following protocols, sagatavos kultūras un sporta savienības sports departamentas Georgi Araburi.
And now the national anthem of Japan.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please rise if you are able for the national anthem of Japan. Ceremonies
that concludes day number 1 of this IBSA Grand Prix here in Tbilisi. I want to thank you very much for watching, and of course we hope to see you back tomorrow. Bye bye for now.